watch foreign hoes, yeah, we got a lot of those. 10 beds on my Gucci coat, 10 hoes in the studio. Yes, I'm gonna miss you, Joe, but I gotta let her go. Spanish bitches love the call, put my dick shit on the throat. I know that's your baby daddy, bro.
Our nameless narrator's life has taken some weird turns. Right now, he's sitting on top of a building that is rigged and ready to blow up, and his homie Tyler Durden has a gun pointing at his head. How did things get so messed up? Well, he's about to tell us in a flashback. The narrator hasn't slept for a long time, and the only thing that gets him right is dropping in and out of support groups for diseases he doesn't even have, and crying like he's about to die, until he notices someone new in a cancer meeting called Marla. The funny thing is that she also shows her face in other support groups too, and she's looking at him like she knows he's faking, so our narrator has a hard time sleeping. When he calls her out on her BS, she confronts him, and they decide to split the meetings so that they wouldn't see each other again. One day, our narrator goes on a business trip and decides to go visit a nude beach where he meets Tyler Durden, who is a weird philosophical guy. But when our narrator gets back to his crib, he finds out that it has blown up, and not knowing what else to do, he calls Tyler Durden to crash at his place. They meet up at a bar, and Tyler says that he could stay with him if he would do one thing: punch him as hard as he could. The narrator hits Tyler, Tyler hits back, and they just start a full-on fight in the middle of the street. Next thing you know, the narrator and Tyler round up all the dudes that society is being down, and they create Fight Club, where people can just meet and beat each other up. There are simple rules for Fight Club. First rule is that you do not talk about Fight Club. Second rule is that you do not talk about Fight Club. Third rule is that if someone yells stop, goes limp, or taps out, the fight is over. The fourth rule is only 2 people per fight. The fifth rule is only 1 fight at a time. The sixth rule is no shoes and no shirts allowed. Seventh rule is fights will go on as long as they have to. And eighth rule is that if this is your first night at Fight Club, you must fight. So after such an eventful night, our boys decide to move in together in a really bad house on Paper Street. And soon, Marla starts to drop by to do the nasty with Tyler, and the narrator gets really jealous because she takes away time from him, and our narrator had been having dreams of Marla as well. After the narrator gets thrown out of his job because he is spitting blood everywhere and is being up, he goes back home, and Tyler decides to teach him what it feels like to hit rock bottom, so he gets a bottle of lye and burns his hand. Later on, they realize that Fight Club needs a lot of money, so they decide to start making soap by sucking all of Marla's mom's fat and selling it to rich people. After a while, Fight Club starts blowing up, and a lot of people start showing up at Fight Club, so Tyler decided to step up his game and create Project Mayhem, where he takes people and makes them gangsters trying to stick it up to society by doing illegal things like breaking public property, stealing things, and even pissing on people's foods. Soon the house is full of gangsters, so much so that the narrator doesn't even recognize anyone anymore. Turns out the Fight Club is going worldwide now, because when he travels, everyone in different cities is admiring him for his work. So, not knowing what Tyler was doing, he decides to call Marla to see what's happening over there. When he calls her, she says, "What do you want, Tyler?" At this moment, the narrator gets really confused because she just called him Tyler and asks, "Why did you just call me?" And she says, "Tyler Durden, that's your name." That's right, it turns out that our narrator is Tyler Durden. It's pretty much 2 minds occupying the same body at different times. When he comes back home and one of his best friends gets shot dead, he tells everyone to stop doing what they're doing and go home and stop Project Mayhem. But everyone says that they are already too deep, so might as well just keep on going. So he realizes that the only way to stop Project Mayhem is to kill the creator of it. So he decides to go on top of a building that's about to explode and kill himself. He shoots himself and blacks out, seemingly dead. The next day, though, he wakes up on a hospital bed and realizes that he didn't die. After, some Project Mayhem members show up and tell him that no matter what would happen, Project Mayhem would always continue.